All right, so now I need to get the battery set up so I can actually start the engine. Then, assuming I get that sorted, get the alternator working, hopefully, with the remnants of the alternator regulator. And if that works, get the Renogy connected and get the engine to start charging the house bank. In today's episode of Will Maddie Get Things Done in Time, as I sit here and record this, I've got about 36 hours before I'm apparently slipping the lines and going for a shakeout cruise. And I can't even start the boat. No clue if I can charge the batteries. This is gonna be fun! Okay, let's go. Okay, these wires need to get sorted, but not right now, so I just want them out of the way. Put you down here. These are just spare grounding wires. So the battery box will go here. That's been shaved off, so let's put that in like this. And I need to put, I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. Yeah, this is a strap for strapping the battery into place. I put the first hole in at 16 centimeters in. Oh, did I do it this way? Oh, bollocks. I got an idea. Okay. Fat 14. Actually, you know what? I should put it as close to the bottom as I can. I want to go this way because this will bite into this board and this board, where this one here is just kind of floating. So I don't want to use this to secure it. Right about there. Now that's going to put me really close to the water tank. Oh, okay. How deep will this go? That will completely clear. Oh, and I've got wires there too. Lovely. You know what? I don't want to risk hitting that. I think I'm going to turn this around and use that handle as a standoff so that I can get this further over and away from the wires in the tank. So if I do that, I'm looking at about 16 and a half. 16 and a half, right about there. Not this one. And I will be very careful with the drill. Where are my drill bits? Where are my drill bits? There they are. Buy a sailboat, they said. You'll get exercise, they said. They were right. Now, yeah, that puts me into the backing board, so that should give me no chance of hitting wires. Now that I'm further away, I'm a little more confident in running the drill a bit faster. I'm going to be doing a lot more drilling, so I might as well leave this here. Let's try this one. There we go. Yeah, that'll hold. All right, that's good. Let's get that really heavy battery in now. Which side do I want positive on? Because this is heavy and I don't want to, if I do this, positive can drop down the back. I think I want the positive on this side. God damn, this thing is heavy. There we go. So here's what I have in mind. I really hope I'm doing this right. The main disconnect switch is going to be here. I'll put the fuse block somewhere along here. So if I can go battery to this, there's no cover for this. I need to start figuring out my wires. Where this can go depends on where these field windings can go, because there's not a lot of slack here. So this is really going to set how far over I can move it. So this switch has to be in this area. So I may put it as high as I can, as centered as I can, so that I have space for the wires to come out. And this, I mean, I suppose I could even mount it down here. That would technically work. Let's mount this first, because this is going to be my biggest limiter. And I can wire this up without it being connected to the battery. Actually, where's the cover? Cover on to stay safe for now. Or stay safe-ish. Safe adjacent. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to wire this up completely, mount this, then I'll go from here to the fuse, and then I can wire this to the fuse and this to the fuse, leave the fuse out, and then I can just sort of see where it fits. So as far as I can tell, this was F1 and F2. It's F1 and F2. As best as I can understand, when this is in the on position, it closes this switch, which is just a safety. I think it's tied back to the key somewhere, so that when you turn the key, it starts the engine. At least that's my working theory. So it's going to be like this. So these are going to connect across like this, but I want them fed in. Where can I run these? Or do I just want to run them over top? And it's not very pretty. I'd rather run it under. Oh, I can get them back here. Doop 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 doop. Get them in behind here. Get them in behind here. There we go. That is F1. That is F1. I think this is just a simple closing switch, so I don't think it's polarized. I can probably put these on in any combination and it'll be fine. But I don't really have the time to get that wrong, so... Oh, I love masking tape. Get off my finger. Damn thing. Never sticks when you want it to, and never lets go when you want it to. Masking tape is proof that engineers and material scientists hate lay people. Go tool here. Anyways, what I was saying is I think this has to close and the key switch has to close for the signal to be sent to the starter to turn over. I know very, 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 very little about this. I'm going from what I've been able to figure out from a few minutes of YouTubing. Given how little time I have, I'm just going to try it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll sit down and do debugging. It's a bit of a trade because if I get it wrong, it probably would have been faster overall to have taken the time to learn how to do it right the first time. But if this is right, I can move on. So I'm gambling time right now. All right. Starter is the only load for this battery. So I can put this directly on the output. Oh yeah, I got this because I wanted to tape this up. So it's a horrible joint. The whole wire is horrible. But I do not have the time to worry about it. I mean, I have the time. If I was keeping the engine, I would definitely take the time and replace these wires now. But given how limited time I have, and the fact this is all going in the garbage when I get home, it's not how I choose to spend my time. That is the battery, so this is the connection I want. Oh, this wire is so incredibly stiff. I do not like that wire at all. It's gonna go like that. I could come in from the bottom. Oh my, this is like trying to, this thing has got like 4 strands in it. I mean, not literally, it's got 15. It's a countable number of strands, which is a problem. Okay, let's bring that in like that, bring that in like that. Alright, that is a tolerable mess. Yeah, I can put that right here. Oh, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. I wonder if I swung that up and twisted it over. No, look, I don't have time for this kind of cable management. Now I need to go from here to this. Normally, again, I would cut the right size cables, but I really don't feel like wasting that kind of money on something that's not going to last for very long. So before I started filming, I went looking for wires that might fit, and I've got some candidates. They're longer than I need them to be, they're longer than I would like, but they'll get the job done and they're free. Now, one option would be to use this honker. It's one of the battery connections, but the problem there is the shielding is going to prevent this from popping or from sitting properly. So it's shorter and it's heavier gauge, but nope, that's not going to work. Then we've got this one, which I think was the one that was originally used for this purpose, or it was one of the battery switches, because it's got the big ring terminal here and it's got the little ring terminal here, and it's perfectly sized for both. So this is what we're going to use. You know what? Bring it down side by side like this. That looks at least not entirely horrible. All right. Now, oh, I hate this starter wire. That might be about the best I can do. And that leaves me here and here for whatever I need to do. Right. These are the screws we're using. Oh, and these look pretty long, but that's all they actually stick through, which is, you know, and it's not going to blow through here, or if it does, not by much. Okay, so let's get this in like this. Get the first one. Don't you fall down there. I'm going to be so glad when I throw all this in the garbage. Leave that off before I make a mistake. Is that level? Is it level enough for the project? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call that leveling up. Or leveling up. Level enough. I really don't have the luxury of time to be finicky. Hello? Where's the hole I drilled? There it is. This dropped a bit. There we go. Is there anything on the other side of this? Nope. I don't feel anything back there. You know, that's pretty skookum. Oh, if anyone is worried about 4 gauge being too small for the starter wire, that starter wire is what is like built onto this thing. It's what came with the boat and it was fine, so I'm sticking with 4 gauge. Now, that out of the way so I don't confuse myself. That's the alternator. If I bring this around like this, I could handle the excess wire over here and then bring it back up, and if I put the fuse right there, that would actually be perfect. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad at all. I can dress these wires later. You are going on here. I'm actually not going to bolt this down tight yet because I need to be able to get the... Oh, you know what? Maybe I can get the drill in there. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. I'm going to be okay with that. Now, last is going from here to here. Well, this is really bigger than it needs to be. Obviously, this is meant for paralleling the batteries, but whatever. If I drop you back here, because I don't need you and I don't want to see you, and I put you like this, yeah, you know what? I think that's okay. Oh, there's no sense tightening this down because I haven't put the fuse in yet. Stuff the slack back down in here. This one, I can actually... Is that the right size? Nope, that's too big. I need the 1/2 inch. That I can bolt down, close this up, put the fuse in. No, I'm going to leave the fuse out until I get the ground sorted. Alright. Probably not the happiest to be bending that tight, but actually, can I... Okay, this is live now. I'm going to back this end off. Bring that across like that, and then in like this. I don't like how this jumps over aesthetically, but when you're short of time, aesthetics has to take a back seat. Okay. I could... No, that has to go out here because that's where the cutout is in the cover. That might work. No, I think that angle right there is best. Make sure that this is going to still fit through the cut that was already in it. Yep, just fine. And I can push it back. I really don't like how that's... You know what? It's fine. I gotta stop being too concerned about things that don't matter. Okay, now the ground. I need to get from here to an engine ground. Originally it was grounded down by the engine bay. You know what the other option is? I have this wire that I could actually probably get all the way over to the neutral bus bar, which is then itself grounded. That might work. Let's try that. This will be connected to the battery, but there's no shock hazard because the only place it could shock is against here or here and nothing past it because the fuse is gone and this is open. So, all right, let's think about how do I want to race this? Oh, I do hope that's long enough, because it's going to have to loop around. Oh, yep, that's the right side. It has to get through that cut in the cover. God, I hope I'm doing this right. Okay. This is now fully wired. That's in like that. Let's get this up over here. I'll probably pull this off and sanity check it later, but how does this work? Does it go up like that, over like that, and back down again? Not really sure how this clip works. Okay. Either I'm dumb or this is a dumb design. Do I just pull it up like this and just come right back down again? That's not going to stop it. On this episode, can Maddie work a buckle? How the hell does this thing work? Oh, that seems to be how. Okay. I think that's good enough. Okay, let's go into the... Oh, I probably should have run this under here. Stop it! Don't have time for this. Yeah, let's go inside. Are the fates with me? Is this cable long enough? Oh yeah, it's going to be long enough. In fact, if anything, it's going to be almost too long. You ever curious what a borderline panicking Digimer is like? Well, here you go. If I come under like this, loop it up. Almost tempted to cut this end off, because I have lots of these, and I could terminate it so it just drops in right here. Do I want to do that? If I cut it right there, with the ring terminal on, there's no risk of it getting close to this. And that still leaves me a relatively useful length. I think that might be what I do. But let me zip and tie this up first. I'm going to put a mount right there. I should mention while I'm mucking with this, I had talked about trying to start the motor off the lithium batteries. And you'll notice that I've done nothing for setting up a battery combiner. If I have to actually start the battery, or if I have to start the motor off the lithium bank, it's going to be jerry-rigged. So I'm really hoping I don't have to actually do that. Give myself a little bit of slack. I want to come in at a bit of an angle. See, this is where it's going to get the most heat, so part of me wants to tuck it up and use this to shield it as much as I can, but if I come in at too steep of an angle, it's going to make it hard to put that cover on. So, if I do, I think that's good right there. Of course, I zip this up, so this is going to be really fun to terminate. Fuck, I hope the engine starts. I really don't have time to debug it if it doesn't. I mean, I have to make it. I have to debug it if it doesn't start, but I'd really like to not lose that time. I'm also getting very hungry. What was I doing? Crimper. What do I do with a crimper? The heat gun can use a lot of power, so to be sure that I don't overload the multiplus, I'm going to turn off the kettle and I'm going to turn off the hot water tank. Curious actually, I'm at 30 watts AC, 29 watts AC, 300, 320, 400. Actually, this doesn't draw very much power at all. As usual, doing it until I see the resin bead out. It's going to come down like that. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Bigger one down below, smaller one up top. There. Now, the real test, does this still go on? Not really. That's just going to fall off. I can kind of push it around this one, but I think I should really back these off and fold them down just a wee bit. I don't want that cover falling off when I'm underway. Now this is actively in use, so I try to keep a connection while I do this. All right, will this sit on better now? Much better. Okay, that's not going to fall off. I want to deal with this up here now. Oh, I put a thing back here to tie that up. Might as well do that right now too. Oh shit, knocked the wire out of the servo. Yep, servo's rebooting. Oopsie. You know, I should probably put one here and put one here. And I'm not really pulling that down too tight because I want to leave some slack for moving this if I have to unplug this or pull it forward for some reason. Alright, now this one, I'm not going to capture this wire or this VE direct cable. Horrible, stiff red cable. Okay, I wanted to go try to start the engine, but I really need to pause and have a bite to eat. The sun's almost gone anyway, and well, for you, I know I did the snap thing. I don't remember what I was just finishing up. Anyways, it is pissing rain. It's chilly. Let's get used to it if I want to be a sailor. I should be on the water in less than 24 hours, and I still don't know if the engine starts. So today's going to be fun. I spent last night after I turned off the camera thinking about the alternator, and I think I know how to connect it. And either it's going to work or it's not going to work. So I'm going to take the clamp amp meter with me. I'm going to wire it in to the far side of the battery disconnect, so the common side. And I guess give everything a final check over and then turn the engine over and hope she starts. If she does, I will try to jump in as quick as I can and put a clamp amp meter over the alternator wire and see if there's any current flow. Whether there is or there isn't, I'm going to move on and start setting up the Renogy. At least if the Renogy is wired in, I can leave for tomorrow and I can read the manual on that little regulator and debug it. But I'm kind of hoping it's just going to work. But I'm going to start the engine first, then set up the Renogy. So I'm going to get my Fowlies on. Let's get going. Okay, to make sure I have to come go in the rain as little as possible. So, fuse. I don't need the crimper anymore. I'm going to need the screwdriver. I think I've already got tape in there. I think I've got the 9/16 and the 1/2 inch are all I need for this. I'll bring some tape. I don't think I need this, but I'm going to bring this anyway, just because I'd rather have it and not need it than the other way around. All right, let's go. Oh, you know what? It's actually not that bad out. I will be mounting the Renogy. I do need the drill. Well, I'll get that on the second trip. Now, keep the rain off. Something you shouldn't normally do. Ooh, dark and spooky. Oh, and after I turned off the camera, I was trying to figure out where to put the Renogy. Tell me I ain't getting lucky. There is no room to spare there, but it works. So I can screw and mount that in. Again, I'm not going to deal with the Renogy right now. I'm going to take this off and... Actually, you know what? I took pictures. I'd like to see if I could find this particular ring terminal and where it went. In case I forget this later, remind me that I put it up on top of the Multiplus. So this, I think, used to come across like this. Oops. I mean, I'm 99% sure the alternator output goes to the common side of the battery disconnect switch, because it says here, stop engine before turning to off. And the reason it would say that is because you want to make sure that there's no induction left in the coils of the alternator when you turn this off, because it breaks the connection to the battery. You know what? I don't need to look... Oh, fuck. If I say I don't need to look it up, I'm going to eat those words. Okay. I took pictures when I was tearing it apart. Can I identify... Is it this wire here? Sure looks it, don't it? Yep, 100%. That's this wire right here. And now the thing is, can I zoom in to see what's printed on it? Battery! Oh, it goes to the battery side. Output battery. It does go to the battery side. So that means there's... Then why would turning this off be a problem? The alternator is directly connected to the battery. Ooh, there you go. I said I was about to eat my words if I just went on my assumption. So the question then becomes, there's no circuit protection between the alternator and the battery. There wasn't when I got the boat. There's no fuse, nothing. All right, so that means this comes in like that. How can I route this in? Down here, like that. She's getting crowded in here. That is the battery side, right? Yep, that's the battery side. Oh, bollocks, that wasn't, I need the bigger one of these. Back outside I go. Did I get one of the right ones? That'll do. That'll do, little piggy. Okay, I'm starting to second guess now all of my work. At the end of the day, this fuse is really close to this battery. If all hell breaks loose, this should still be my, like, even if I fucked up this switch somehow, there's no path from here to the battery that doesn't go through this fuse. Okay. So this is still in the off state. Let's connect the fuse now. Careful with that one. Okay. No big short. Oh, fuck me. Damn it. This spade is so wide that it's bumping up against the side of the fuse. Okay, if I turn it 90 degrees, it works. I'll show you what I mean once I get this connected. So this here pops out enough that it was sitting over the ceramic part of the fuse. But by turning it all the way, I can just clear the bottom of the fuse. Another reason to have your tools grounded. This is now swinging around positive. I suppose I should have been safe and disconnected it at the battery, but it doesn't really sit over there very well anymore, but there we go. In theory, the boat should start and the starter battery should charge. So I'm going to leave all these tools here. I'm going to run inside and grab the clamp amp meter and the keys. Let's see if she starts. I won't lie, this is definitely one of the pucker moments. You know what? I'm going to see if Joe can come over when I start the engine. Oh, but if I do that, I'm going to have to turn off the camera. Well, I've already asked him, so what I'm going to do then is when Joe comes over, I'm going to leave you running, pointing at this stuff. And, I mean, you upstairs, there's not going to be a lot to see. If there's going to be any joy, it's going to be joy. If there's going to be any excitement, it's going to be somewhere in this area or somewhere under here. So I'll leave the danger cam pointing at the internals, and I will set up the cannon pointing at the engine bay. There is something else I can do while I wait. I want to put a buckle back there to help further strap this in. And I also need to put the thermal insulation on this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. So it may just be jumping to a cut where I show you that it's done. I need something to hold that up while I screw it in, because I screw it in, it wants to fall down. Actually, I can show you what I mean before I do it. So you can see how the buckle, if it wasn't for that, I'll do it. It wants to drop down like that. And trying to get it back out afterward would be a pain in the butt. So that screwdriver is just to hold it in place. Oh, this would have been so much easier if I had done this before I closed things up. Success! Now it holds itself up. I had to put the forward bolt into it now. Sign of success when I pull the screw out and when I can pull the screw out and the drill bit doesn't come out. Having the hex, I think you call it, the 6-sided slots for the drill bits. I originally thought that was a silly idea and I bought it out of desperation. It turned out to be really, really, really useful. Let's get the last screw in. Let's try to do this without dropping it. Okay, Joe's coming over. Alright, slots in. Actually, I'm going to set the camera up out of the way in case we got to come running down the stairs. Alright, can I walk through briefly what I've done before I do it?
Sure. All right.
Anything there seem wrong or bad?
No, hit the switch. Let's give it energy, see what happens.
Oh, I turned the switch and you started walking down the stairs, and I thought the sound of the stairs bumping was something in the, like a motor crunching.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I was saying it to laugh. Pardon?
I understand the feeling.
Okay, you think you're good to go?
Give it a shot.
Oh, come on, baby. Be a good girl. Okay, neutral, fuel down. That's a good sign.
Yep.
It's great to be out here. It's right here.
Okay, so can you pop the top on it without exploding yourself, do you think?
One way to find out.
What came out?
It's colored.
What color is it?
Kind of seems to be the right color. Yeah, seems to be the right color.
What color is it?
Like a pinkish reddish.
Okay, but it's still plenty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little brown, but considering what I've done to the engine, I wouldn't be surprised if it picked up some shit.
Alright, so as long as it's not, you weren't cycling through the wrong way or something like that.
I don't think so. No, because you're seeing, like, did I just flush all the coolant out the engine?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Now my hand's really slippery and I can't close it. All right, I think I'm okay. Holy fuck.
Better run for a little bit, see what happens.
Yeah, that's my next concern is I don't know if I've got an alarm for it overheating. I don't know how to tell if it's overheating. And I need to find out the hard way, you know?
Alright, well, it'll start steaming at the ass end pretty good.
It'll start to steam?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I see it steaming, kill the engine, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But
well.
she's pumping, so it shouldn't be an issue. So better run for a little bit. Do it about 15 minutes or so. That way you'll make sure that all your fuel is running the way it's supposed to.
All right, now, where's the alternator wire? Alternator wire is right here. Okay, so let's get that on here. Let's turn this over and see if we have any amperage coming out of the alternator. I don't know if you can hear me, but I think either the alternator regulator is not set up properly, so I need to go read the manual on this, or the battery is just full enough that it's not needing to charge. So Joe said to leave the motor running for 15 minutes. It's 12 minutes on this clock, so I'm going to let this go to 27 minutes, and we'll see if she overheats. Still got coolant coming out the back. Exhaust manifold should be the hottest. It's only reading 33. Oh, actually no, that's the coolant reservoir, so that might be real. Bring it down to the engine block, 37 degrees. 74, okay, it's starting to warm up. It's been running about 8 minutes now, and you can see the exhaust elbow is like 71, 72 degrees Celsius. I'm wondering if fixing the impeller blade, and the impeller blade that was stuck in the heat exchanger, was causing it to run a lot hotter before. Before I bought the boat, the surveyor was pointing out that this mixing elbow was like 600 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's a heck of a lot higher than 75. I know that much. And it's running a lot cooler now. You can see where the water goes in. It's running at like 25 degrees, 30 degrees, something like that. Yeah, just if that's all it was, then it shows you how important it is to keep debris out of your heat exchanger. Oh, what a magnificent sight. I think our work has paid off. I'll have to look at the survey, but that elbow, the exhaust manifold elbow, got stupidly hot on the checkout drive, on the, whatever you call the sale before you buy the boat. So as of right now, the only thing that seems to be outstanding is the starter, or is the alternator. I don't need that for tomorrow. I've already shown that I can run 3 days easily just off the house bank. And again, it's entirely possible the alternator will be just fine. It's just not running because there's not enough drain of that battery because it was fully charged when I pulled it. This is good. Okay, 2 more minutes. All right, that's 15 minutes. Let's shut her down. Oh, listen to her hum. She's humming so good. Oh, my girl, you're gonna get yourself a new home. You ain't going in the scrapyard. I need a coffee. It's about 11:30, 10:30, coming up on 11, something like that. And the person who is going to be buddy boating with me when I do the sea trials is going to be here at around lunchtime. So I've got about 12, 13 hours to get some work done. And I'm absolutely exhausted, so I'm going to do just what I have to. So, reminding everyone, this is just for the trip home. I'm not going to be super elegant about this. This whole box is going to get ripped apart, remember, when we get home. If I was doing this on a box that I plan to keep for a long time, I would take my time, measure it properly, cut it carefully. It's just not how it is. I'm just trying to keep this box from overheating on the trip home. Oh, balls. Closing the seacock on the engine just... Oh, right. I got wood glue, so I can glue up this stack as well. Should I do that? No, I'm going to tape this up first, but I will get the wood glue so I don't forget it. Oh, convenient. It was right there. Actually, I'm going to start gluing this up right now because that'll help it set while I'm mucking with this insulation. I am so tired. Remember, this is not it's structural, but it's structural only insofar as it's got weight bearing down on it. So this glue is really just to keep things from sliding around. A single F clamping technique. Oh, this is so janky. The things you do when you are really, really short of time. Oh, there's some nice squeeze out. Okay, so that can sit right there. Actually, no, I'm going to bump that. Let's put that over here. Let's get some measurements on this, and I'll cut a square. 24.5 by 9.5. Actually, what I should do is the face first, because that's the most important. And that is, okay, I want to come up a bit high, so we're going to cut 10 inches that way. Well, I know the depth back there is the same as this, so I want a 9 5/8 plus 24 3/8. So if I do 9 3/8, that's 10, 24 is 34 inches. I want a 34 by 10 inch. And then whatever's left over, I'll put on the top. Let's see how close we can get to 10 by 34 in this little workspace that I've got. I don't think this is even 34 long. Oh yeah, it is. Just slightly over. Precision work, this is absolutely not. Holy balls. I'll use the factory edge for the top. Alright, I'm going to leave the camera running, but I ain't too certain you're going to see much of use. I gotta actually take my sweater off because I'm going to be too close to the engine, and I don't want to risk getting grease on it. Hello? Can you see me? Okay, whoever's messaging me, you're going to have to wait. Oh, I can't see shit. How tightly can I pack myself in here in the fetal position? This might not be perfect, but it's sticking. Alright. I'm gonna have to cut. Where did the skizzers go? Okay, I can worry about cutting it as I get closer. As I go, I'm just sort of peeling and pressing. Peeling and pressing. This is where my knife would come in handier. Where is my knife? Oops, that's my chapeau. Yeah, I cut it too broad. I'll see if I can fill that with some leftover. Can't even see what I'm doing here. Come on, get in there. All right. Don't cut the wires. All right. Pretty? Not one bit. Functional? Well, I mean, better than not being here at all. Let's see if I can salvage a strip of this. This blade is dull. Still want to put something up here, but even just this is going to make a huge difference. That's a bit of a triangle shape. There. Let's get the top done now. What did I say that was? I think it was 9 3/8. What did I do with the measuring tape? How do I lose things so fucking fast? There it is. So we're looking at 24 1/4 by, let's say, 9 5/8. I don't think I'm going to cut anywhere. I don't think my cutting resolution is to the 8th, but 9 5/8 by, oh balls, what did I say it was? 24 3/8. 24 3/8 is more important. Holding the measuring tape is silly. I'm not even close to that accuracy. What did I say? 9 and something. We'll just do 9 even. That's close enough. I'll do a fat 9. Is that the right measurements? No clue. Is it going to have to do? Yes. Same deal. I'm going to start back here and work my way forward. In this episode of Madi Climbs Into Another Hole. You know what? I don't think I'm any better doing it from out there than I am from in here. That was helpful. That was the fucking belt falling back in there. Damn it, now I'm gonna have to try to reach in there and find it. One 1970s cheesy sci-fi battery covering. Work of art? Yeah, no. Workable? Yes. I'm gonna take this out, lift this up, or put some glue on this, lift that up and let it drop down. And the main reason for the glue on the top here is just to stop this from shifting around, or at least give it a fighting chance. This glue is not set up, but I don't have the luxury of time of waiting for it to finish setting up. So it's gonna have to be good enough. This is gonna make a bloody mess. Now, the last step is to get this belt through the battery. Probably should have done that before I glued it. Well, too late now. Got it. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but it doesn't have to prevent movement, it just has to prevent it from completely sliding. There. Is this professional? Holy shit, no. But this should do a good job at keeping the worst of the heat out of the battery and keep the battery well fixed. That's glued in now. This is strapped down, 2 points. Okay, last thing to do, and I've never done this before, is wrap the exhaust manifold. I have no flipping clue how to do this. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know anything. Wrap it like a sausage and then put zip ties on it. I've never used metal zip ties before. They get pulled in and then maybe crimped down. I have to figure it out. Still recording? Oh yeah, yeah. Hello. I'm not quite sure how to... Am I supposed to layer this up? How many layers should I do? I know I should have taken the time to look up how to do this, but I'm figuring poorly implemented is better than not implemented at all. And I just haven't had the time to do my usual research. I'll probably put this whole roll on it. I'm sure folks in the comments will tell me what the right process was. And I'll appreciate that in case I ever have to do this again. But obviously, by the time you're watching this, it's done. Pretty sure this is overkill on the tape, but again, I have no other use for this tape afterwards, so I might as well use it all here. Though honestly, after 3 wraps, or 3 loops, it's probably fine. Oh, balls. Come back here. I'm not going past where the coolant gets injected because when I was measuring it, when it was idling right past the mixing elbow, it cooled right off. Bring it back here, if only to make it easier to zip off. Let's see if we can figure out how to use metal ties. Are you supposed to bend them over? I have no idea what I'm doing. How to use metal zip ties.
Now, how these lock into place is they have a little sheet metal that goes to this little stamp. You would just fold it over like this, and then it just is that you always fold over the end.
Okay. So I was on the right path. You know what? It just has to not fall off. I don't have to make it pretty. Yeah, these strands are coming loose from the far end, but that's fine. Oh, I'm bleeding. That didn't take long. You know what? I'm just going to leave the loose end on. I'm not going to trim it. I don't know how many is reasonable, so I'm going to go for unreasonable. All right. That should be good for the trip home. Is that perfect? Absolutely not. Will that likely come off on the trip home? Probably not. I am happy. Well, I'm exhausted, but I'm happy. I don't know how long of a video this is going to be. I wanted to get the Renogy set up, but that didn't happen. But I think I should probably make the Shakedown Cruise its own video. So I think I'm going to sign off here. I'm the Digital Mermaid, and fingers crossed things go well tomorrow. Once I got the shakedown video out of the way, we'll get back to finishing up the Renogy and getting the head set up. I may do some work once I'm on anchor. I'll have to see how that works. Anyways, I will see you next time. I have no clue how I'm going to eventually do this solo. Okay, we'll see you at the fuel dock.